Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We got the Senators at the Athletics here in 1908, and take a quick look at the standings. Washington 3.5 games out of first place, and the Athletics are just a game out behind the Browns, who are leading everything. And let's see how this goes here. First with Jim Delahanty. He rolls a 15 for an 11, which is a base hit, and then he will steal second base right away. That'll bring up Otis Clymer. Delahanty over on second base, and here comes Clymer, who rolls a 22 for a 7. There's a base hit scoring the runner. Clymer over at first base is 1-0 Senators, just like that, and that will bring up Bill Shipka. Shipka rolls a 25 for a 10. That's a single that advances Clymer to third. Shipka ends up stealing second afterwards. Jimmy Digert, who has this A rating, and take a quick look here at his card, grade 14 pitcher, which is quite good, is not having the best outing of his career, that's for sure. He's given up 3 straight hits, and it's a 1-0 game for the Senators so far. Digert with a 2.54 ERA so far this season. Here's Clyde Milan, and he rolls a 14 for a 43, and the little E will come up, and our little E rolls a 15. That is within the range. Changes over to 19, which means that will be an error on Collins, the third baseman, and that allows another one to score. It's 2-0 Senators, and here's Jerry Freeman. Freeman up there now rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. So Digert finally able to calm down, gets one out. And here's George McBride now, runners on at first and third, one out, top of the first. His roll is a 21 for a 30, and that's a fly ball over to left field. Hartzell has it for the out, but the run scores. Ah, yes, Hartzell, who I wrote about just the other day. Hartzell had a heck of a time in 1900. If you don't know that story, I'll have to tell you about it. Here's Bob Gainley now. Bob rolls an 11 for a 0, and here is the second column roll, and it's a 41 for a 7. And that's a single, which will send Milan to third. And with 2 outs, here's Gabby Street. The Senators coming close to batting around this inning. Gabby rolls a 13 for a 36, and that's going to be a wild pitch. No, I'm sorry, that's a stolen base for Bob Gainley. And Street's still up there, of course. I don't have the boards all memorized, as you can see. Here's the next roll for him. It's a 26 for a 27. That's going to be a ground ball over to the third baseman, Collins. He makes the play this time, throws to first for the out. And there's 3 away. We go to the bottom of the first, and it's Jimmy Collins up there who rolls a 12 for a 24. Collins, of course, had that bad error early on. Little E for him is a 52 out of range. That ends up being a ground ball over to McBride, and he makes the play, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Danny Murphy now rolls a 46 for a 29. That's a comeback over to Bill Burns, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. 2 away. Rube Oldring up there now rolls a 46 for a 29. Another comeback over to Burns, who throws over to first. We go to the top of the second, and it is Bill Burns here leading this off. Bill rolls a 25 for a 10 and gets a single to center. So Digert, in theory, you look at this and you would think, oh, wow, Burns, what does Burns have? Burns is a grade 12 pitcher, but Digert is a grade 14. Oh, Digert's going to win this game. The Athletics have got this one in the bag. Not always. It depends on how the dice roll. Here is Jim Delahanty again. He rolls a 12 for a 24. That's a quick and easy double play. That one goes over to Nichols, who flips to Collins for 1, and on over to the first baseman Davis for the double play. 2 away, and here's Otis Clymer. Clymer rolls a 45 for a 14, and that'll be a walk. 10th walk given up this season by Jimmy Digert, and that'll bring up Bill Shipka. And Bill rolls a 54 for a 45. It's going to be a fly ball over to center field. Oldring has it for the out. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Ossie Schreckenghost up there rolls a 44 for an 8. That's going to be a little ground ball over to McBride. Makes the play and throws to first for the out. 1 away. Eddie Collins now rolls a 16 for a 26. Ground ball over to Delahanty at second, who throws to first for the out. 2 away, and is Topsy Hartzell. Hartzell rolls a 22 for an 8, which will be a fly ball over to Milan in center field for the third out. We go to the top of the third, and it's Clyde Milan. Clyde rolls a 13 for a 14, and he will walk. So Digert's given up 2 walks so far in this game, and here is Jerry Freeman. And Jerry rolls a 65 for a 35, and that will be another walk by Digert. That's where that W goes to hurt you. 3 walks in this game by Jimmy Digert, who looks like he wants to go back home and take a nap. Here's George McBride. McBride rolls a 12 for a 25. Here is the little E roll, which is a 21 within the range again, and that's going to be another one on the third baseman, Jimmy Collins, his second error of the ball game. That loads the bases here for Bob Gainley, and the Senators are just blowing them away here. Bob Gainley up there rolls a 54 for a 45. That's going to be a fly ball over to right field. Murphy has it, but the runner scores. Freeman moves over to third. 1 out now, and it's 4-0 Senators. Here's Gabby Street. Gabby rolls a 55 for an 8, and that's going to be a single to right field that will score run in 1 and send the other to third. Ah, yes, that's one of those interesting things about the NP3 boards. Also on the APBA boards, by the way, you have runners in first and third. Suddenly a B is ineffective against the result number 8. It's 5-0 Senators, and that's part of the fun of the game. Bill Burns up there now, not going to bunt, not with the score 5-0 in his favor. And what does he do? Rolls a 31, and he gets a 13 out of it. That's another troll 13, 2 away. Here's Jim Delahanty. And Jim rolls a 21 for a 30. It's going to be a fly ball over there to left field. Hartzell has it for the out. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Harry Davis. Davis rolls a 44 for an 8, and that's a ground ball over to shortstop. McBride has it and throws to first for the out. 1 away. Simon Nichols rolls a 21 for a 30. It's a fly ball over to left field. Gainley has it for the out. 2 away, and it's Jimmy Digert. And Dyer rolls a 13 for 13, and it's a strikeout, another troll number. We got to the top of the fourth. It's Otis Clymer up there now. Clymer rolls a 16 for a 26, ground ball over to Eddie Collins, makes the play and throws to first for the out. 1 away, and it's Bill Shipka up there. He rolls a 32 for a 26, another ground ball over to Eddie Collins, throws to first for the out. 2 away. Clyde Milan rolls a 65 for a 35. This time it's a pop-up over to the first baseman Davis for the out. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Here is Jimmy Collins. Collins rolls an 11 for a 0. This will break up the no-hitter. And then a 42 for a 6. That's going to be a double. Collins cannot take advantage of this M because he had no home runs in real life. And so there's a runner on at second base now for Danny Murphy. 5-0 those Senators. Murphy rolls a 66 for a 0. Murphy can hit home runs. Then a 21 for a 6. And just as I said, here is that chance. But he rolls a 21 out of the range. Ends up being a 6 for a double, and that will score 1. So Bill Burns gives up 2 straight doubles. That brings up Rube Oldring with a 5-1 lead for Washington. Oldring rolls a 46 for a 29, ground ball over to Burns, who makes the play and throws to first for the out, but Murphy moves up to third. And here's Ossie Schreckengos. And we're going to leave the infield back and not bunt here. In real life, maybe they do that, maybe not. Rolls a 55 for an 8. That's a fly ball over to Clymer in right field. He makes the catch. The runner scores. It's a 5-2 ball game. 2 outs now for Eddie Collins. Collins rolls a 46 for a 27, and that's going to be a ground ball over to third base. Shipka has it, moves over to first for the out. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and it is Jerry Freeman. Jerry Freeman up there for Washington rolls a 55 for an 8, and that's a ground ball over to short. It's going to be Nichols who makes the play, throws to first for the out, 1 away. George McBride. McBride rolls a 15 for a 10. There's a single to center field. He's the runner on at first base up there for Bob Gainley. Do we hit and run? Do we care that much? We do not hit and run. And the roll for Gainley, 26 for a 30. It's a fly ball over to Hartzell in left field for the second out, and here's Gabby Street. Gabby hits a 23 for a 32. That'll be a fly ball over to center field, and it's Oldring who has that one for the out. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Topsy Hartzell up there now rolls a 15 for an 11. So there's a single and a stolen base, and the Athletics trying to get back into this one. Harry Davis now rolls a 31 for a 9, and that's a single that will score the runner. And Davis is over at first base. It's a 5-3 ball game, and so the Athletics have come back. Simon Nichols up there now rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out. 1 away, and here is Jimmy Digert, who is almost certainly going to bunt. And the roll is a 21 for a 30. It's a good bunt over to the left side. Shipka has it, throws over to Delahanty covering at first for the out. 2 away. Davis moves up to second, and it's Jimmy Collins now. Jimmy rolls a 44 for an 8. That's a comebacker over to Burns. He makes the play and throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the 6th. 5-3 now Senators, and it's not quite as big of a run away with it as we thought it was. Bill Burns up there now rolls a 15 for a 10, and there's a single for Burns, so even he can get a base hit, and that'll be Jim Delahanty. No troll results on that 15. Delahanty rolls a 52 for a 27, and there's a little ground ball over to the third baseman, Jimmy Collins, flips over to Eddie Collins for the force out of second, but they can't complete the double play. 1 away, and here's Otis Clymer. Otis rolls a 62 for a 12, and this is going to be a walk, and that W by Diger just stings because normally that's a double play, and instead it's a walk. Bill Shipka up there now, runners on at first and second, 1 out top of the 6th. And Bill rolls a 63 for a 30. That's a fly ball to left field. Hartzell has it for the out. That's 2 away, and here's Clyde Milan. Milan rolls a 36 for a 33. That'll be a pop-up over on the infield. It's going to be Nichols who has that one for the out. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Danny Murphy will be up there now for the Athletics as they try to complete their comeback. He rolls a 12 for a 24, but there is a little E roll because there's a little E next to that 24, and the roll's a 21 within the range, and that changes that over to an error on the first baseman, Freeman. That'll bring up Rube Oldring now with the runner on at first base, Murphy, and he rolls a 22 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to the left side. Shipka has it, throws to first for the out, but Murphy moves up to second. Went out here for Ossie Schreckengos, and we'll let him swing away, I think, again. We could bunt. Rolls a 52 for a 27. Probably good we didn't bunt. That's a ground ball to Jimmy Collins, who makes the play, throws to first for the out. 2 away, and it's Eddie Collins now, who rolls, it's a ground ball over to Shipka, rather, makes the play at first. Eddie Collins rolls a 14 for a 43, and the second roll is an 11 within the range, and that's going to be an error on the second baseman, and that will score the runner and allow Collins to reach second base. So suddenly this is a close game. It's a 5-4 ball game as the Athletics make the most out of two Senators' errors. That's an awful play by Delahanty. Up next, Topsy Hartzell rolls a 23 for a 32, and that's going to be a fly ball over to, I believe, center field. No, it's over to right field. It's going to be caught there by Clymer for the out. We go to the top of the seventh inning, and my virtual machine having some problems. Jerry Freeman up there, top of the seventh, 5-4 ball game. All of a sudden, it's the ball game again. Freeman rolls a 33 for a 7 and gets a base hit promptly off of Dygert, almost like he's aware of what's happening. George McBride now with the runner on at first base, and he rolls a 25 for a 10. That sends Freeman to third. McBride gets the base hit, then steals second. That'll bring up Bob Gainley now, runners on at second and third, and in comes the infield. Gainley probably, I don't know, what should we do with him here? Hitting 1 for 2 here today, but only 146 in the season. I think we'll swing away, maybe. I don't know. I always like to compare these a little bit. Gainley is a bit of a better hitter than Street, so we'll let him swing away, and he rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a fly ball over to right field. Murphy has it for the out, but the runners move up, and it makes that a 6-4 game, so that was the right choice. Now here's Gabby Street, and the infield does come in, and we're going to have Gabby bunt. And the play is a 41 for a 28. That's a bunt over to the right side. First baseman Davis has it, flips that one over to Eddie Collins covering at the bag, but the run scores. 7-4 the score now, and here comes Bill Burns. Bill Burns up there rolls a 44 for a 9. That's going to be a base hit, but then he is caught stealing, and those little C's kill you if you're a pitcher. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning, 7-4 now as Senators, and I'm telling you, you can score runs in 1908, but you have to know how. Harry Davis rolls a 24 for a 13 for a strikeout, one away. Simon Nichols up there now rolls a 33 this time for a 7. That's a single to right field. That'll bring up Jimmy Dygert. We're going to leave Jimmy, I think, in this ball game and just let him bunt. And it's a 15 for a 36. It means it's a pass ball that will send Nichols to second. Let's try to bunt again. It's a 15 again for a 36, another pass ball. This happens from time to time. We're actually going to leave the infield back. I think we're going to let Dygert swing away. He rolls a 36 for a 33 this time. That's a pop-up over to the pitcher, Burns, for the first out. That'll bring up Jimmy Collins. Runner on a third base, 2 outs. I'm sorry, it's the second out. Collins rolls a 35 for a 13. There's your troll. That's a strikeout against Jimmy Collins. And so the 2 pass balls do not help the Athletics, and we go to the top of the 8th, still 7-4 Senators. Jim Delahanty rolls a 43 for a 29. That's going to be a strikeout for Dygert, his 4th strikeout. I think some of these were strikeouts that I was calling ground outs. It's because I'm not paying attention. Here's Otis Clymer. Clymer rolls a 44 for an 8, and that's a little ground ball over to shortstop. Nichols, there you are, has it, throws to first for the out, 2 away. Bill Shipka up there now rolls a 13 for a 14, and there's another walk by Jimmy Dygert. He's walked 5. Clyde Milan up there now rolls a 12 for a 24, and there is a little E roll. This one is a 12. It's within the range. It's an error on the shortstop, Nichols, and that'll put runners over on first and third. Third error of the ballgame for Philadelphia. That's where they're falling apart. They're falling apart because of all these errors. Jerry Freeman now rolls a 61 for a 41. That's changed to 37, and that means that there's a stolen base attempt, and he's thrown out. Unfortunately, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 7-4 the score, and here's Danny Murphy. Rolls a 32 for a 26. That's a ground ball over to the second baseman, Delahanty. Throws to first for the out, 1 away. Oldring now rolls a 23 for a 30. It's a fly ball to left field. Gainley has it for the out, 2 away, and it's Aussie Schreckenghost. He rolls a 13 for a 38. That's changed to 23, and that's going to be a little bouncer in front of the plate. Street has it. Throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the 9th, and here's Jerry Freeman. 7-3 ball game, not even remotely close. Freeman rolls a 46 for a 29. That's a strikeout for Dygert, his 5th of the game, 1 away, and it's George McBride, who rolls a 45 for a 14. There is walk number 6 given up. Dygert's now a D, and here comes Bob Gainley with the runner on at first. He rolls a 53 for a 17, change it to an 18. That's going to be an error on Nichols, the shortstop, 4th error of the ball game on the Athletics, and that'll bring up Gabby Street. Runners on at the corners. He rolls a 16. That's going to be a ground ball over to the second baseman, Collins, who flips over to Nichols for 1, but they tried to complete the double play at first and not in time. That will score a run. It's 8-4, and here comes Bill Burns up there. We'll let Dygert get out of this one, but the rolls a 65 for a 35. That's a walk. 7th walk given up by Jimmy, and here's Jim Delahanty. He rolls a 16 for a 26. It's a little pop-up over to Eddie Collins for the 3rd out. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's now 8-4 Senators. And up first is Eddie Collins, who rolls a 33 for a 0. Collins was 0 for 3, going to be 1 for 4 now with his doubles. He rolls a 36 for a 6. There's a chance for a home run, but it's a 35 is the roll. It ends up being a double for Eddie Collins. That'll bring up Topsy Hartzell, runner on at second base, nobody out, bottom of the ninth. Hartzell rolls a 41 for a 28. That's a little ground ball over to McBride. It's short. He throws over to first for the out. Collins has to stay with that play in front of him. One away. Here's Harry Davis. Davis rolls a 13 for a 14, and so Bill Burns gives up his first walk of the game here in the bottom of the ninth. Up comes Simon Nichols, and he rolls a 42 for a 13. It's a strikeout, 2 away, and here comes the pitcher, Jimmy Digert. Of course, we're going to pinch hit for him. Now we are going to do what we're supposed to be doing, right? And it's going to be Shag Shaughnessy who comes in to hit for him. Shaughnessy is my go-to guy for the Athletics when we have to have a pinch hitter. And he rolls a 14 for a 43, but there is a little E-roll, see if it saves him. Nope, doesn't. That's a fly ball over to left field. Left fielder Gainley has it for the out, and that does it. 8-4, the Senators with the victory. So don't let the won-loss record fool you, and the American League remains extraordinarily tight here in the early going. Hope you enjoy this one. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.